Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the man behind the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about the sequel to the Terminator that I talked about in my last video. This is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is one of those rare sequels, you always hear when a sequel comes out. Does it measure up to the original, or do they just turn the volume up and add more explosions, or just kind of recycle some things and just stamp that brand name on it? This movie measures up. Some people like it more. Some people don't like it as much as the original Terminator, but still love it. It's kind of a toss-up, but it definitely, no one argues that it measures up. It definitely does. Now, this movie picks up a few years later after John Connor is born, and Skynet sends another Terminator back in time, this time to kill John when he's a boy before he ever gets a chance to lead the resistance against the machines. And now Linda Hamilton reprises her role of Sarah Connor, and she tried to blow up a building and was arrested and put in a mental institution because of everything she's been to. She is crazy now, but she still wants to stop Judgment Day and protect her son because she knows how important he is. And also, the resistance from the future from 2029, they captured a Terminator and reprogrammed it to protect John Connor as a boy. So Arnold Schwarzenegger reprises his role of that model of Terminator, and they come back. So it starts out as a little chase to who gets to John Connor first. Will it be his protector or the Terminator sent back to kill him? And Sarah Connor is locked away, so she can't protect him. And so that's something she struggles with. She's desperate to get out and has tried to escape the maximum security mental institution many times. So that's where this movie starts out. And this movie, Terminator, the original one, was more of kind of a horror element, and they had to be very resourceful because it had such a small budget. And, the effects at the time, they couldn't do a lot of the stuff that James Cameron envisioned, in the future of the franchise. So, here they had to be very resourceful. Like for car chase, they'd speed up the frames or something, make things look faster, and they just couldn't do a lot. Now, this one had a massive budget and has massive action set pieces, so things that you never thought you'd see on the screen before were now possible. And I remember when I saw this movie, I kept hearing from my friends, it's so good, it's so good. And I'd seen the original Terminator and I enjoyed it, but I just didn't get around to watching it. And then when I did, man, was I blown away. And I watched it again and again. Just the story and the constant action. I mean, it basically, like I talked about, it's two Terminators battling, one to protect John Connor, one to kill him. So, and it had, the original Terminator model is not as good as Robert Patrick's T-1000. So, they have to try to be resourceful and find a way to kill it. And it's basically just a long chase with different action set pieces in different areas, and just all hell breaks loose. This movie is just one of those blockbusters in every sense of the word, and it was for a while the highest rated R-grossing movie of all time. For a while it held it for several years. And so here, this movie also incorporated computer-generated images for the first time. James Cameron in his previous film, The Abyss, had some, but this one, it was a huge part of the story, but the effects still serve the story. But, I mean, this movie really pushed the boundaries of what could be done because of the T-1000, was liquid metal, so his fingers and his hands could turn into stabbing weapons, and there's just all kinds of stuff it could do. It could, become other people. I mean, it could change forms. It was really something to behold. And, the effects still look pretty good today. Now, and we talked about the different set pieces, but it's still character-driven. Sarah Connor just wants to protect her son, and they want to, stop Judgment Day from happening. And there's a little bit of humor along the way, how John's teaching the Terminator, sense of humor and not to talk so much like a robot. And, he learns some slang along the way, and the characters develop. And Sarah Connor, even though she's crazy now, you can see how she got that way and what she's ultimately trying to do. And the suspense here is just non-stop. So this movie really set the bar for what blockbusters could do, and everything like that. Just the action sequences are incredible. And the thing that you notice with the first two Terminators, I'm going to talk about some of the sequels in future videos, but James Cameron, when he makes a movie, he's involved in every aspect, from the story to the effects. Like, his hand is in everything, and these two movies have that James Cameron feel because this was his baby. And so that's one thing I'm going to talk about in the sequels that was missing a little bit. And Stan Winston's designs, let's not forget about that. And another thing that was cool here is, in the original movie, you got to see a little bit of the future and the war against the machines, but like we talked about the limited budget, here you get to see a little bit more, and you learn a little bit more about Judgment Day and how all these events came to happen, and what are they going to do to stop it. And on this Ultimate Edition DVD, yes, I still have the DVD. I know there's a 4K, but I heard it's reference quality awful looking 4K, so I'll just stick with the DVD. There's some deleted scenes and different things, like, because when they ended, there were some scenes that showed that could have taken the franchise in a different direction, or just tied it in a nice neat little bow. They wanted to kind of leave it. They still had an ending that resolved, but they didn't want to just tie it all perfectly and happy, I guess. So that's explored on this DVD. But everything in here, from the set pieces to the performances to the special effects, everything is here. And when I was a kid and I saw this, an action movie lover, I was just blown away by this story. So everything is here. This is one of the all-time greats. So I could go on forever about how great it is. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Should they have made a sequel? Should they have ended it with this one? What'd you think? Let me know any of that in the comments. And thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.